The hour of convening having arrived, all members of the House will please come to the floor and take seats. All members. All members. Clerk will ring the bell. All members, please report to the floor of the House. We're about to have the call of the roll. We're going to have the call of the roll. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. We will have scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 92nd House District, Representative Darshan Kendrick. Representative Kendrick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. It is a pleasure to introduce the chaplain of the day. This is Pastor Tony Brock from Hope and Life Fellowship Church, which is located in Snellville, Georgia, in Gwinnett County. He has his lovely wife as well as other members of his family to my right, if they could stand up and we give them a round of applause. And I had the pleasure of listening to Pastor Brock this last election while visiting churches. And I'd like to give you 3 reasons why I enjoy Pastor Brock and his church. But first, let me give you a little bit of background about him and his ministry. In 1988, while attending Lee University, Tony received a call to full ministry. Upon completion of graduation with a degree in Christian education and Bible, he soon became a youth pastor. The ministry took another aspect in September of 1996 when Tony began speaking to students in high schools and junior high schools across the country concerning drug awareness. Pastor Tony Brock has an appeal that is universal because he understands that all men, women, and students face problems, obstacles, and challenges. Having confronted and overcome many difficulties, Tony has emerged full of life and passion for sharing simple truths that help people master their lives. For over 20 years of ministry, Tony has motivated men, women, and students to change their lives by the power of a crucified and risen Savior. 9 years ago, Tony and his wife, Gwen, along with their 3 children, moved to Atlanta, Georgia to birth their church. Since moving to Atlanta in August of 2000, Hope in Life Fellowship has grown from a group of 12 to over 2,000 members. Currently, there are over 45 different nations being represented in the church body. Pastor Tony and his family currently reside in Decatur, Georgia. Now, I told you I would give you 3 reasons why I enjoy Pastor Brock and his church. The first one is that Pastor Brock and his wife both are on Facebook and are Facebook friends of mine, and anyone that dares to be a Facebook friend of mine has my immediate respect. Second of all, Pastor Brock's church is located next to a Burger King, a Publix, and Shane's Barbecue Rib Shack. And for those of you that know I like to eat, that's an added bonus for me. And then last, Pastor Gwen Brock, his wife, and I are very, very close in age. She's going to turn 29 on March the 28th, so make sure you say happy birthday to her. Without further ado, I present to you Pastor Tony Brock.
Good morning. Excited about being with you today. Of course, I want to honor my Heavenly Father. I thank Him for the opportunity, and I know it's already been said, but I need to say it again to my second best friend after Jesus, but my gift from the Lord. I'm thankful for my wife to be here and with me this morning. And I know you're thinking, wow, she's 29. You're a cradle robber. Look at you, you gray-headed guy up there. But I am blessed to have a beautiful bride. And my brother with me as well, Chris, and his wonderful wife, Shonda, and my cousin, who's like my sister, Carmen. Mr. Speaker, excited about being here with you as well. And, of course, to Sean there in the 93rd District. You're doing an outstanding job, and we're proud to have Deshaun Kendrick representing us. This morning, I want to read just a scripture to you found in 1 Corinthians 16 and 13. What's profound about this is not only it's in the Word of God, but my son this morning, a freshman in high school, he said, Dad, Wednesday, or he said, this coming Sunday, I'm going to have a chance to speak on this scripture. And I think anything, that your freshman is saying, but if it's going to be about scripture, man, you need to give all your attention. And he said, here's what the Lord's laid on my heart. And when I heard it, it spoke to my heart as well as something I think I need to share today. In the New Living Translation, verse 13 and 14, it says, be on guard, stand firm in your faith, be courageous, be strong, and do everything with love. As I reflect on that, I think of I know what all of us, not only the gallery, my family, but of course, you distinguished men and women that sit before me today that have great power and as well, work together to move this state forward. But often there are unmet expectations that we have in our life or in our family or in our marriages and just with the things that concern us. And with unmet expectations, those can be real stumbling blocks to the things that are spoken in those 2 scriptures. First is our faith. Stand firm, what? In faith. Be strong. Be courageous. And then lastly, where it speaks there and talks of do everything with love, I know that's a mindset that can easily and more often be challenged when we at times are unable to have our expectations met. We think one thing and another thing happens. We're looking this way and somehow something else seems to take place. I'm reminded of a very famous coach, a great coach, wins championships. I'm not as much a fan of the team, but I'm a fan of the coach, Bobby Bowden. And he was coming from a recruiting trip when he was there in Florida State. And of course, had already won a championship, had a couple of rings or so forth, and was coming back into Tallahassee. And I heard this on 680 The Fan not too many years ago, and it's just stuck with me. It's a great story. But he's coming back into Tallahassee, so he's coming through a little bedroom community, kind of on the outer resources of the city and recesses of the city. But he knows it's an area where it can be a tough place for getting tickets. And so he drops down to where the speed limit is. If it's 30, he's right there around 31, 32. or so forth miles an hour. And when he comes through, they have one of these cameras that take your picture. And so he knew when he came through that it had taken his picture, which meant he was going to get a ticket for it. But Bobby Bowden didn't win championships by being one that, took things lightly. He knew that he was not in the wrong, but it didn't make sense. So he went back around, pulled a U-turn, came back around, went through that same intersection, and just like that, it took his picture again. At that point in time, he came back through and he dropped it down to maybe 28 miles an hour. Came through and once again, it took his picture. 2 more times, all the way down to about 25 miles an hour through that intersection that he was now way below the speed limit, came through, and every time, 5 times, it took his picture. Well, he was ready for a fight. He was ready whenever those envelopes came in indicating his court date or the amount he had to pay, that he was going to go in and say, hey, I'm Bobby Bowden, and in some way, I kind of run this city or run this state. Maybe he'd feel that way. I've won championships. And so I was not only going with a speed limit, maybe a couple of miles at most, but the last 4, I was at least equal or below the speed limit. The day comes in, his wife says, Bobby, and your tickets are here. And he comes in and he begins to just sets them up and rips one open, rips another open, rips the other open, lays them all out and looks at them ready to be prepared for the fight. And instead of it being something about 5 speeding tickets, he looks down and every letter reads, it is because he was not wearing his seatbelt. I think it's life where we're looking one way and something else takes place. Unmet expectations or seemingly things changing and being different. I'll end with this today before we pray and pledge our allegiance to this great nation that we're in. The Bible tells us where that Jesus made, the scripture speaks that in Matthew 14 and 24, he made his disciples get into the boat. They wanted to be with him, but he made them get into the boat and go before him. Reminds me of Psalm 23 where it says he makes us to lie down. You think we'd want to lie down in green pastures, but it says he makes us at times to lie down because he knows better. He made them get in the boat and go to the other side, but he wasn't with them at this point. And the scripture says this as I finished this morning, and they were in the boat now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves. Maybe today you personally, maybe just in life in general, you feel as if you're in the middle, tossed. But at that moment, what I was able to see and know that the scripture bears out is that you're never beyond his reach, never beyond him finding you. At one point in time, they'd been in the boat with him in a storm, and he was with them, and he said, peace be still. But this one, he was still on the mountain praying. They were in the middle by themselves. But the Bible said he walked to them on the water, so we're not beyond his reach today. And even if you are in the midst of it, you can look and see him coming your way, and then to know as well that his strength will provide and make not only the way clear for you, but will hold you up. So today, no matter if you're in the middle of something personally, no matter what's going on in your personal life, you're not only not here by accident today, but as well I want to challenge you to know whatever unmet expectations or what you expected. You were expecting speeding tickets, and instead it was your seatbelt. I want you to know today that God has a dynamic plan for your life, as well as he does for our representative, Ms. Kendrick. A dynamic plan for your life. You're not here by mistake today. God's got great plans for this legislature and everything that's going on in the House, but as well for your personal life. And so I just want to do that. I felt led that I would just pray for your strength today and pray for your leadership of all that is important to you. Would you pray with me today? Father, we come before you and we thank you just for the great opportunity and privilege, Lord, that I have, but as well every person in this room, even in our gallery, Lord, to see how things move forward in our nation. But Father, there are individuals here that have many things in their life that are very, very important. And so, Father, I just pray strength into everyone that's able to hear my voice today, everyone that's able to hear even the scriptures that were read a moment ago. Lord, you see where they are. No matter if it's a day that's their best, or if maybe they feel as if they're in the middle of a sea that's tossed, or they were expecting one thing and something else happened. Father, I just pray great strength, power, and authority. And just even as that word says, let everything that they do be done with love, and for them to be courageous, to stand firm in their faith, and to find that strength, Lord, that only you can provide. So bless them, bless their families, Lord. Bless everything they put their hands to. In the name of Jesus, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. I know you're a Georgia fan, so I had to say I'm not a Florida State fan, but I do like Bobby Bowden.
He was a great one.
He is a great one.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Sims, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journals of the previous legislative day and found them to be correct.
Chairman Sims, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. O'Neill, the 146th moves the following be established as order of business in the first part of the period of unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading reference, bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, reports of standing committees, third reading passage, uncontested local bills, morning orders, rules, calendar, privileged resolutions, through the resolution establishing order of business for this legislative day.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 643 by Representative Willard of the 51st. The bill will be entitled Act amending Title 9 relating to the Georgia Civil Practice Act.
Judiciary.
House Bill 644 by Representative Taylor of the 79th. The bill will be entitled Act amending Title 33 relating to health care plans.
Insurance.
House Bill 645 by Representative Dahl of the 45th. The bill will be entitled Act Amendment Title 33, relating general provisions relating to insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 646 by Representative Fleming, 121st. The bill will be entitled Act Amendment Title 47, relating to magistrates' retirement.
Retirement.
House Bill 647 by Representative Stevens, 164th. The bill will be entitled Act Amendment Title 36, provide for establishment of tourism special districts.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 648 by Representative Harrell, the 106th. Bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 48, relating to revenue taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 649 by Representative Harrell, the 106th. Bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 36, relating to counties, municipal corporations.
Budget and Fiscal Affairs Oversight.
House Bill 650 by Representative Kidd, 145th. Bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 48, relating to imposition rates, sales, and
Ways
use.
and Means.
House Bill 651 by Representative Stevens, 164th. Bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 48, relating to excise tax.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 652 by Representative Kelly, the 16th. The bill will be entitled Act relating to license to carry weapons.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Resolution 756 by Representative Kidd, the 145th. A resolution requesting the Governor of Georgia recognize economic impact.
Economic Development and Tourism.
House Resolution 757 by Representative Gardner, 57th. A resolution urging the Department of Community Affairs to adopt critically needed changes.
State Planning and Community Affairs.
House Resolution 758 by Representative Allison 8. Resolution requesting Tennessee Valley Authority to extend recreational seasons.
Natural Resources and Environment.
House Resolution 759 by Representative Shaw, 176. Resolution on the life of Governor Ed Rivers dedicating a road.
Transportation.
House Resolution 760 by Representative Kelly, the 16th. Resolution requesting that Congress oppose new tax on prescription medication.
Health and Human Services.
House Resolution 761 by Representative Houston, 170th. A resolution on the life of Jim McClellan Sr., dedicating a bridge in his memory.
Transportation.
Senate Bill 238 by Senator Loudermilk, the 14th. Bill to be entitled Amendment Act creating a new charter city of Nelson.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
Through the first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 608 by Representative Houston of the 170th, a bill relating to health. HB 609 by Representative Rogers of the 10th, a bill to amend an act to provide a new charter for the city of Demarest. HB 610 by Representative Williamson of the 115th, a bill relating to agents, agencies, sub-agents, counselors, and adjusters. HB 611 by Representative Hughley of the 136th, a bill relating to health. HB 612 by Representative Chapman of the 167th, a bill to amend an act implementing Brunswick and Glenn County Development Authority. HB 613 by Representative Henson of the 86th, a bill to authorize the governing authority of DeKalb County to levy excise tax. HB 614 by Representative Jacobs of the 80th, a bill to amend the unincorporated DeKalb County Community Improvement District Act of 1998. HB 615 by Representative Alexander of the 66th, a bill to amend an act creating Board of Elections registration for Douglas County. HB 616 by Representative Morris of the 156th, a bill to provide a new charter for the city of Lyons. HB 617 by Representative Moran in the 96th, a bill relating to imposition rate computation of income tax. HB 618 by Representative Jenner of the 85th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to agriculture. HB 619 by Representative Oliver of the 82nd, a bill to amend an act creating a new charter for the city of Chamblee. HB 620 by Representative Rice of the 95th, a bill to authorize the city of Peachtree Corners to exercise all redevelopment and other powers under the Redevelopment Powers Law. HB 621 by Representative Powell of the 32nd, a bill relating to restoration of driver's licenses for persons completing defensive driving courses or alcohol or drug program. HB 622 by Representative Green of the 151st, a bill to amend an act reconstituting Board of Education, Quitman County. HB 623 by Representative Benton of the 31st, bill to create the City of Commerce Public Facilities Authority. HB 624 by Representative Green of the 151st, a bill to amend an act creating Dawson-Terrell County Airport Authority. HB 625 by Representative Hitchens of the 161st, bill to amend an act to provide a new charter for the City of Rincon. HB 626 by Representative Chanel of the 120th, a bill to amend an act creating established Greene County Airport Authority. HB 627 by Representative Jones of the 47th, a bill to amend an act creating one or more community improvement districts on unincorporated Fulton County. HB 628 by Representative Neal of the 2nd, a bill to amend an act to change the method of filling vacancies on the Board of Hospital Authority of Walker, Dade, Catoosa counties. HB 629 by Representative Gregory of the 34th, a bill to provide new charter for the city of Kennesaw. HB 630 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, a bill to amend an act creating Board of Elections registration in Polk County. HB 631 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, a bill to amend an act creating Polk County Water Authority. HB 632 by Representative Dukes of the 154th, bill to amend an act providing joint county municipal board of registration elections for Dougherty County and City of Albany. HB 633 by Representative Wilkerson of the 38th, a bill to amend an act creating a new charter of the City of Powder Springs. HB 634 by Representative Wilkerson of the 38th, a bill to amend an act creating a new charter of the City of Powder Springs. HB 635 by Representative Pruitt of the 149th, a bill to amend an act providing membership of Dodge County Eastman Development Authority. HB 636 by Representative Pruitt of the 149th, a bill to amend an act to create the Heart of Georgia Regional Airport Authority. HB 637 by Representative Chokitz of the 138th, a bill relating to costs for probate courts filing fees, service of process costs, writ of fieri facias fee, cost tax to the losing party. HB 638 by Representative Earhart of the 36th, a bill to amend an act creating Cobb Judicial Circuit. HB 639 by Representative Mitchell of the 88th, the bill to amend an act providing supplement to the compensation expenses allowance of the judges of Superior Court of Stone Mountain Judicial Circuit. HB 640 by Representative Dutton of the 157th, the bill to amend an act creating a new charter for the City of Glenville. HB 641 by Representative Parsons of the 44th, the bill to amend an act consolidating the offices of Tax Collector, Tax Receiver into the Office of Tax Commissioner of Cobb County. HB 642 by Representative Jacobs of the 80th, the bill to amend an act to incorporate the City of Brookhaven into Cobb County. House Resolution 739, Representative Jaspers of the 11th, the resolution dedicating pathway to the Smokies. H.R. 740 by Representative Dollar of the 45th, the resolution creating the House Study Committee on Economic Impact of Expanding the Renewable Energy Market in Georgia. H.R. 741 by Representative Marin of the 96th, resolution requesting the support of the Supreme Court of the United States to affirm the clear constitutionality of Section 5 of the Federal Voting Rights Act 1965. H.R. 755 by Representative Geisinger of the 48th, the resolution creating the House Study Committee on the Equine Industry. Senate Bill 249 by Senator Beach of the 21st, bill to amend an act creating a new charter for the City of Holly Springs. 3 second readers.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Representative Sims, 169, Chairman Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination had in consideration the following bills of the House and Senate. Instruct me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 380 do pass by substitute. House Bill 528 do pass. House Bill 561 do pass. House Bill 575 do pass by substitute. House Bill 589, 590, 591, 593, 594, 596, 598, 603, 604 do pass. Senate Bill 222, Senate Bill 223 do pass. Respect submitted. Representative Sims, Chairman. Representative Cooper of the 43rd District, Chairman of the Committee on Health and Human Services, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Health and Human Services under consideration of the following bills. The Senate instruct me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 216 do pass by committee substitute. House Resolution, Senate Resolution 413 do pass. Respect submitted. Representative Cooper, Chair, through the committee reports. Yes, sir.
We're about to go on to the local calendar. We're about to go to the local calendar. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. For what purpose does Representative Jones rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to ask that House Bill 604 be removed from the calendar and voted on separately.
What number was that?
HB 604 on the second
House Bill
page.
604. The lady has moved that House Bill 604 be removed from the local calendar and voted on separately. Is there objection? There is no objection. What purpose, Representative Ramsey rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 133 of the State House, I'd like to note in the record that I'm recusing myself from voting on House Bill 528 on the local calendar today.
Gentleman has that right. The journal will so reflect. All right, let's go back now. Is there objection to voting House Bill 604 separately? There is no objection. That one will be voted separately. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 604 by Representative Jones, the 47th, a bill to be entitled Act, Amendment Act providing for the termination of millage rates by governing authorities in Fulton County, approved March 14, 1991, so provide for dates on which the governing authority of Fulton County may make or fix certain levies for ad valorem taxes. Bill has been for the House Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination. Committee recommends the bill do pass. The bill is being read today for its third time.
What purpose Representative Thomas rise?
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to pull a bill off as well.
Okay, well,
I'll wait.
I'll come back to you.
Okay,
How
thank you.
about that? What purpose Representative Bruce rise?
At the appropriate time, I would also like to have a bill removed.
All right, we're on 604 now. Chair will come back to you. What purpose does Representative Jones rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that HB 604 was not presented to the entire Fulton delegation and violates the Georgia Constitution?
We have a favorable committee report, and I think that would dispose of that question. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on House Bill 604? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 604 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 604. The ayes are 108, the nays are 46. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Now, what purpose does Representative Thomas rise?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask that House Bill 594 be voted on separately and pulled off the local calendar.
House Bill 594.
Yes.
Okay, the lady has moved that House Bill 594 be removed from the local calendar and voted separately. Is there objection? Chair hears no objection. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 594 by Representative Martin of the 49th. The bill will be entitled Act to amend an act entitled Act to completely exhaustively revise, supersede, consolidate, and replace all laws and amendments thereto pertaining to the Fulton County Personnel Board and Fulton County Merit System of Personnel Administration. Bill has been for the House Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination. The committee recommends this bill do pass. Bill is being read for the third time.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on House Bill 594? What purpose does Representative Thomas rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that 594 is really House Bill 172 with a small modification, and that this bill will be a bill that will be negative, affect workers' job security and basic rights in employment at Fulton County?
I'm sure the lady believes that to be true. What purpose does Chairman Martin rise?
Mr. Speaker,
What purpose do you rise?
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Isn't it true, Mr. Speaker, that this is this similar language to 172, and that I, as author of the bill, worked with people that had concerns in order to take the public safety employees out of the bill as they requested? Isn't that true, Mr. Speaker?
If the gentleman is the author of the bill, so states, I'm sure he believes that to be true. Chair hears no objection to the previous question being ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 594 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of House Bill 594. The ayes are 106. The nays are 47. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Representative Bruce rise?
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask that House Bill 598 be removed from the local calendar and be voted on separately.
The gentleman has moved that House Bill 598 be removed from the local calendar and voted separately. Is there objection? The chair hears no objection. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 598 by Representative Willard of the 51st. A bill being entitled Act by Fulton County employees first or again employed on or after July 1, 2013, serve Superior Court of Fulton County, Magistrate Court of Fulton County, State Court of Fulton County, shall be employees at will. Bill having been for the House Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination. The committee recommends the bill do pass. Bill is being read today for the third time.
What purpose does Representative Bruce rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that passage of this bill would take away the rights of these individuals to be represented in the event that they are improperly discharged from their
If the
work?
gentleman so states, I'm sure he believes that to be true. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 598 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 598. The ayes are 107. The nays are 47. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Representative Jones rise?
Speaker, I ask that HB 380 be pulled off the local calendar.
Do you have a motion?
Motion that HB 380 be pulled off the local calendar and voted by the whole.
The lady has moved that House Bill 380 be removed from the local calendar and voted on separately. Is there objection? There is no objection. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 380 by Representative Riley of the 50th, a bill being entitled Act Amendment Act providing in Fulton County a system of pension retirement pay to teachers and employees for the Board of Education, Fulton County. Bill having been for the House Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination. Committee recommends the bill pass by way of substitute. Bills being read today for the third time.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 380 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Okay. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 380. The ayes are 110, the nays are 47. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Okay. Now we're going to vote on, if there's no objection, we will vote on the remainder of the local calendar. We will be voting on the local calendar without House Bill 380, without House Bill 594, without House Bill 598, and without House Bill 604. So we will be voting on House Bill 528, House Bill 561, House Bill 575, House Bill 589, House Bill 590, House Bill 591, House Bill 593, House Bill 596, House Bill 603, Senate Bill 222, Senate Bill 223, House Bill 353 by Senate Committee Sub. The clerk will read the captions.
House Bill 528 by Representative Yates, 73rd, Fayette County. House Bill 561 by Representative Nimmer, the 178th, Wayne County. House Bill 575 by substitute by Representative Rice, 95th, Gwinnett County. House Bill 589 by Representative Jackson, 128th, Washington County. House Bill 590 by Representative Kelly, 16th, Polk County. House Bill 591 by Representative Glanton, 75th, Clayton County. House Bill 593 by Representative Jackson, 128th, Washington County. House Bill 596 by Representative Pruitt, 149th, Telfair County. House Bill 603 by Representative Evans, 42nd, Cobb County. Senate Bill 222 by Senator Ramsey of 43rd, Rockdale County. Senate Bill 223 by Senator Harbison, the 15th, Schley County. Local legislation with Senate changes agreed to Senate substitute or amendment and requisite delegation signatures obtained. House Bill 353 by Senate Committee of Substitute by Representative Lumsden of 12, Chattooga County. Through the local county, the bills have been before the House Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination. The committee recommends these bills do pass by substitute. Bills being read today for the third time.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the remainder of the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the remaining bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of the remaining bills on the local calendar, the ayes are 159, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. All right, we're going on to the morning orders. Morning orders. If you have signed up for a morning order, or maybe you wanted to and haven't, then you need to come down to the front and make sure with the messenger that you are on the list. We have a number of members who have signed up. Listen up, members. We've got a lot of bills on the calendar. We have a lot of visitors with us today. Please limit your remarks to not more than 1 minute each. 1 minute each on the morning orders. Chair recognizes the chairman of the Rules Committee, Chairman Meadows, for a morning order.
Good morning. Okay. Y'all know how much I like coming down to the well. But this morning I want to give special recognition to somebody. She is up in my little cubby hole up there called the Ruse, and it's my wife. Y'all know how easy I am to get along with. But I will tell you that as of today, she has put up with me 42 years. And publicly, I would like to tell you and her that I love her.
Chair recognizes Representative Bentley for a morning order. Representative Bentley. House will be in order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. I just wanted to come to the well and thank everyone for reaching out to me during my incident at my house on Tuesday evening. Thank you, just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Dudgeon for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Digital Day at the Capitol. We have lots of our graduates and entertainment industry people going to be on the second floor between 12 and 3 o'clock. And believe it or not, the biggest entertainment products in the world are not movies but video games, and Georgia is a growing producer of digital media and video games. And with our education system, with Georgia Southern and Columbus State, Savannah College of Arts and Design, and Georgia Tech, we're generating a lot of talent. It's a very booming industry, and they're going to be demonstrating some of their cool products and digital and games and things like that. So y'all come visit between 12 and 3 today on the second floor. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the Majority Caucus Whip, Representative Lindsay, and the Chairman of the Minority Caucus, Representative Flood. Let there be peace in our time. Is this a Fulton County thing, by the way?
No, Mr. Chairman. This is a Davidson College
More
thing.
important than Fulton County.
Yes, indeed. Today kicks off March Madness. And among the teams that will be playing today will be a great institution nestled in the foothills of the Carolinas called Davidson College. Davidson College has an outstanding athletic career, as shown by the fact that while I was at Davidson, this was one of our star football players.
Davidson has a proud and long tradition of academic excellence, but it also has exhibited athletic supremacy in the last few years. And please put Davidson in your bracket. I've got them going at least to the Final Four and coming here to Atlanta so you can see them in person.
And by contrast, I doubled down and have them winning the championship.
Chair recognizes Representative Peake for a morning order. Looks like he's joined by Representative Epps.
And whatever Mercer contingent would like to come up and join me as well.
This is a Mercer thing.
Yes, Representative Lindsay and Representative Flood, yes, March Madness had started, but it also started last night when the Mercer Bears defeated the Tennessee Volunteers in the first round of the NIT. We sure are proud of our Mercer team and looking forward to them putting a whooping on BYU as they reach the round of 16 from Monday night. So congratulations to our Mercer Bears. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Go Bears, that's right.
Well, the University of Georgia showed them how to beat Tennessee this year, that's for sure. Chair recognizes Chairman Neal for a morning order. Chairman Neal. All right, he waves for now. Chair recognizes Chairman Coleman for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I also say go Bears. That's my alma mater. Proud of them. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, you're being watched today. I'm very proud to have from my district a group of young people from Duluth High School. They're the young Republicans. They're here observing us today, so let's show them a good show. Please stand up where this House can recognize you and honor you. Let's give them a big welcome. Thank you all so much for coming.
Chair recognizes Chairman Houston for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a resolution here honoring Chase Jones, and many of you probably remember Chase. He worked in the House Budget Office, and he was in an accident, and we just want to honor him for all his contributions that he's done for the budget through the years, and we'll leave the resolution up here if you'd like to sign it. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Neal now for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I had the privilege last month to honor a couple of teams from Gordon Lee High School in Chickamauga, the girls softball team for winning their third consecutive state championship, the wrestlers for winning their second consecutive state championship, and I have today the girls basketball team from Gordon Lee who have won their first state championship. This is a team that finished with a 25-7 record. The seniors on the team had a record of 120. The seniors won 100 games in their career at Gordon Lee. Those seniors are Katie Barger, Cassidy Blevins, Sarah Clayton, Taylor Hartline, and Kaylee Kimbrell. Coach Lester Gallion, assistant coaches Pete Porter and David Eason are here, and they're with us in the gallery. Would you all stand? Ladies and gentlemen of the House, congratulate the state champion Gordon Lee High School basketball team.
Chair recognizes Representative Sheila Jones for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. The Violence Against Women's Act, the reauthorization was signed on March the 7th, and I have a resolution that I'd like to ask my colleagues to read and sign. It is creating the House Study Committee on Stopping Abusive and Violent Environments for all citizens of Georgia and for other purposes. If you'd like to read it and sign it, it will be over to my left, your right.
Chair recognizes Representatives Welch and Waits for a morning order.
Go ahead, Keisha.
Go ahead.
Good morning, colleagues. This morning we have the wonderful, distinguished pleasure of recognizing someone from the Henry County delegation. Members, would you please stand with us this morning, the Henry County delegation and Clayton County delegation members?
Be fast.
This morning we're recognizing June Wood for her retirement and many years of service with Georgia Power. Ms. Wood is the Metro South Regional External Affairs Manager for Georgia Power and has long been recognized by the citizens of this state for the vital role that she has played in leadership and her deep and personal commitment to the welfare of the citizens of Georgia. Thank you, Ms. Wood, and congratulations on your retirement.
Chair is going to ask all members of the House to please take their seats. All members. And cease conversation. We have a number of guests with us today. Some very distinguished guests. And the chair one more time, let's try it again and see if the microphone's working all over the chamber. All members of the House will please take their seats. Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Transportation Committee, Chairman Roberts, for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I have a distinct honor this morning to present to you a man that I had the opportunity to meet back last year. Myself and Senator Mullis traveled down to Panama City, Panama, and had the opportunity to go through the expansion of the canal site down there, as well as meet with Mr. Roy and those that are responsible for the canal. It was a very informative trip. We appreciate the leadership that he shows down there, as well as what that deepening and expansion is going to mean to us as well here. He, as Mr. Roberto Roy, is the Minister for the Canal Affairs and President of the Board of Directors of the Panama Canal Authority. He is joined by Ms. Colleen, who is with SLC, and most of you probably know her or have talked to her. Now, Mr. Speaker, please don't hold this against me, but today I did wear a tech tie. And so don't hold it against me, but Mr. Roy is a Georgia Tech graduate. So he is from here in the state of Georgia. He has degrees in mechanical engineering and industrial management, and he's received numerous awards. But when we were down there, Senator Mullis and I, he told us that the one thing that he missed from Georgia was grits. So we actually have him some grits here today from my hometown back in Ocella, Georgia, of the Case Farm. So they are aground, and we're going to present them with you as well. But one other thing he said he missed was the varsity. And so being a tech graduate, he is going to ride in the Ramblin' Wreck down to the varsity and have dinner, or lunch, excuse me. So without any further ado, I'm going to present to you Mr. Roberto Roy.
Thank you. It is my pleasure and my honor to be here in the House of Representatives of Georgia. I consider Atlanta my second home. Been here many times, lived here for 6 straight years. And now I am the chairman of the board of the Panama Canal. And I think it's a propitious day and time because we are embarked into a great expansion of the canal that will have a great impact in the economy of Georgia. I would like to stress and give a word of support to the House of Representatives in order to support the dredging of the Savannah port. It is very important. All the shipping industry of the world is changing to more efficient, fuel-efficient ships. These are bigger ships, that would need a dredging of 50 feet. Right now, the Port of Savannah needs to make a big investment, but I am sure that it will become an engine for the economy of Georgia. The smaller ships are on the way out. They will not be manufactured anymore. All the ships are going to be what is called the post-Panamax size, because these ships are a lot more efficient. These ships cannot go right now into the Port of Savannah. That is why I urge you, the House of Representatives, give you support. And I think if you do this, it is the correct move for the economy of Georgia. And I only bring this support from the Panama Canal to urge you to go ahead and don't hesitate to invest this money in the Port of Savannah. Thank you very much. My honor to be here. Real pleasure.
Chair recognizes Chairman Martin for an invite resolution. Chairman Martin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, please offer me your attention as I introduce a very special guest today. But before I do that, please join me in welcoming our guest husband, Chris Cawley, and our House photographer, Amanda Coker. Our very own Amanda Coker helped us get our special guest today, Miss Georgia. Amanda approached me last week and told me about her friend and our new Mrs. Georgia, Sandra Cawley. And the more I learned, the more impressed I became. Sandra is involved with many different things, but three primary areas that she will talk to us about later are Sudden Arrhythmia Death Syndrome Foundation. She lost a dear friend to that disease, and she is involved with them to try to bring a cure. She is involved with 500 Songs with Kids, a program that enriches the lives of children in hospital and with illnesses through music. And she and her husband, Chris, are involved with the Lighthouse Family Retreat, a Christian ministry that serves children with cancer and their families to give them some hope and some happiness in their life. Mr. Clerk, if you would read the caption to our resolution.
House Resolution 762 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Representative Riley of the 50th, Representative Ramsey of the 72nd, and Representative Ralston of the 7th. A resolution congratulating Mrs. Sandra Cawley, Mrs. Georgia, United States, 2013, and inviting Mrs. Cawley to be recognized by this House of Representatives at a date and upon a time to be designated by the Speaker of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, if you would join Speaker Ralston, myself, Representative Riley, and Representative Ramsey, and welcome to your House, our Mrs. Georgia, Miss Sandra Cawley.
Wow, thank you so much for having me this morning. Thank you, Representative Martin and Mr. Speaker, and thank you to my husband for being here today, especially after such a long work night. I just would like to take a couple minutes to tell you about what my year looks like as Mrs. Georgia 2013. The Mrs. United States Division is a premier pageant for married women. It's existed for 27 years, so I'm excited to be new to pageant world and to represent Georgia, where I found my home and my husband and my faith. And so for this year, I'm going to spend my reign using my title and the recognition that comes with pageantry, primarily focusing on those organizations like Lighthouse and 500 Song for Kids, that I get to do that with my husband because we're musicians, so we get to travel together and spend time in our ministry together, which is great. And the SADS Foundation, Sudden Arrhythmia Death Syndrome organization, reached out to my friends and family 6 years ago when I lost my very best childhood friend due to an undetected heart rhythm abnormality. After speaking over the years and being a part of their campaigns, I've realized where they need the most help is funding for their medical education. So I've decided that I would use my platform this year to campaign and raise, my goal is starting at $15,000, which I would love to double, if not triple. The SADS organization works with scientific advisors where they outsource professionals to educate doctors such as physicians, cardiologists. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. This is my first appearance. I've only been reigning for a week. I don't have my sash and my crown either because I haven't had my ceremony yet, so. So they need funding in order to outsource these professionals so that we can educate people on how to treat and diagnose the symptoms and the conditions that fall underneath the SADS umbrella. So my goal is to raise awareness, raise capital, and spend my year just having my voice in my community and as an ambassador for Georgia. And of course, to go on to nationals in July and hopefully win Mrs. United States, and I could take my platform to a national level. So I really thank you all for letting me be here, and if you're interested in donating, I can give you more information on my website, or you can just go to firstgiving.com and search my name. It's Sandra Cawley or Mrs. Georgia United States, and you'll find my SADS organization fundraising page there. So thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's get a picture. House will continue to be in order. Chair recognizes the Minority Leader of the House, Representative Abrams, for an invite resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm asking Representative Pack, Representative Henson, Representative Carter to also join me. It is my honor today to present Melanie Nelkin, Hannah Finney, Lindsay Hirsch, and Basmat Ahmed. April is Genocide Awareness Month, and irrespective of your continent of origin, your gender, or your religion, genocide has touched every corner of this world, and we stand together today to recognize and celebrate the awareness that must come with Genocide Awareness Month. I would ask the clerk to read the caption.
House Resolution 636 by Representative Abrams of the 89th and others, a resolution recognizing the month of April 2013 as Genocide Prevention and Awareness Month at the state capitol and inviting the Georgia Coalition to Prevent Genocide to be recognized by this House of Representatives at a date upon a time to be designated by the Speaker of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. With the Speaker's permission, I'd like to recognize Ms. Basmat Ahmed, who will speak to us about Genocide Awareness Month.
Good morning. On behalf of Georgia Council to Prevent Genocide, I would like to give a great thanks to the speaker and the leader, Abrams. And actually, I had a lot of things that I write it down, but I will speak from my heart. As I said, great thanks to the speaker and leader Abrams for sponsoring our resolution, or this resolution, declaring April as Genocide Prevention and Awareness Month in Georgia. And also I would like to thank all the people who came today and helping on this, and also thank you for having us. My name is Basmat Ahmed, and I am originally from Sudan, Darfur, and in this year, Darfur has genocide for 10 years, and the second year for Nuba Mountain. And as we all know about the genocide that happened in the Holocaust a long time ago, but also taking place in the first century. For all people who came today with me and people who really help us on the sponsoring, I take them and I consider them as peacemakers, because this is my life issue and other people like me, and for them to help in this part, it's very remarkable for me and other people as well. Well, I have a long story, but also thank you so much for having us and give us opportunity to give a warm thing. Also, yes, one thing that, thank you for remembering me. I would like to thank the students from Fete County's High School. They are part of STAND chapter in Georgia. And thank you for being with us today. I'm sure that I pronounced it wrong because of my pronunciation, but would you like please to stand up, just recognize you? The name is... And thank you for all of you.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dempsey for an invite resolution. Chairman Dempsey.
Test. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. It is my distinct privilege to stand before you today with Representative Lumsden, and Representative Coomer may join us, but I know he may be down in the governor's office right this minute, and honor a good friend from Floyd County. Gardner Wright is down here with us today with his family. He is the great-grandson of Daniel R. Mitchell, one of the 5 founding fathers of Rome. And his wife, Jean, who could not be with us today, is actually her grandfather and great-grandfather served as governors of our great state of Georgia. And Governor and Mrs. Brown's statue appear on the grounds of the Capitol today. He's also joined today by his daughter, Suzanne, who was a sorority sister of mine at Georgia, and her husband, Steve Protz, and his daughter, Mary Helen Heener. Mary Helen's husband and Gardner's 2 grandchildren are not with him today, but they are a great family. He's a graduate of Darlington School with a degree from Georgia Tech, and so if you wonder why this bulldog has on yellow, I'm honoring my good friend down here today. He's a titan in the textile industry, having served 2 terms as chairman of the Georgia Textile Manufacturing Association, where he served as a leader until his retirement in 2002. But Gardner is best known in my community as the very best volunteer, the very best encourager that we have. When he was 13 years old, he began that path as an Eagle Scout and is a recipient of the Silver Beaver Award and the Distinguished Citizens Award. He helped found Floyd Junior College, which is now Georgia Highlands College, and has been a 57-year, very well in attendance member of the Rome Rotary. He's received the Heart of the Community Award and many, many more. But every day when I walk into this chamber, this is one of the people that I think about, because he encouraged me to make that commitment to serve. And he is one of the greatest encouragers, I think, to ever come from Rome and Floyd County. Mr. Clerk, if you would read the caption to the resolution.
House Resolution 767 by Representative Dempsey the 13th, Representative Lumsden the 12th, Representative Coomer the 14th. A resolution commending Mr. Gardner Wright and inviting him to be recognized for his many accomplishments by this House of Representatives at a date and time to be determined by the Speaker of the House.
I think Mr. Wright is going to say a few words. Is that correct? Gardner?
Mr. Speaker, member of the House, Katie Dempsey doesn't make many mistakes, but she made one on me. And so if she made a mistake and I get the resolution, that means you all made a mistake also. But nevertheless, I want to say a sincere thanks to you for the recognition. It's a real honor and a pleasure, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes for an invite resolution, Representative Kidd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me for just a minute, because I know we're getting ready to go into some serious work and some rib time downstairs too in a little while. But you know, today is really an honor for me. There's really no bigger honor for me than to be able to introduce to you a man who has literally changed the history of our country. It's rare for any of us to have the opportunity to meet somebody whose name is in our history books, a man who served 5 different presidents of the United States as special assistants to the presidents with unbridled access to these presidents, a man who is a dedicated Georgian, a dedicated American, and I wish his wife was here because she's dedicated to him also, Miss Fran. He's here with his son, Melvin, who brought him up today. I could go on, but I won't. The resolution cannot say enough about him, and this is why in your email we have sent his bio to you. He was the first person to be called into the White House years ago to negotiate between the unions and the government to solve a mediation crisis. And while he is not serving right now, maybe we should send him back to Washington to mediate between the Republicans and the Democrats and the president right now, because we sure as heck need somebody to help that mediate. With that, I'll introduce to you Mr. Bill Usry and ask the clerk to read a resolution.
House Resolution 763 by Representative Kidd, 145th, a resolution commending Willie Julian Bill Usry Jr. and inviting Mr. Usry to be recognized by this House of Representatives, date and time to be designated by the Speaker.
Mr. Usry.
Mr. Speaker, my friend and Representative Rusty Kidd, to stand here is a great honor for me. And as I sat here in the chair, I was told just to say a few words, and I would, about some of my work. But then there's a couple of incidents that I'd like to pass on to you. I served in World War II. Not long after I came home to Milledgeville, Georgia, we had 3 gentlemen that was governor, said they were governor, and I came to this hall. This is the first time that I walked in it, because they had to go upstairs to this point. How do we get around and get these 3 governors? So I won't go into a lot of it, but it's humorous, it's fun, and that was kind of the beginning of my life, certainly in the political role. Then Richard Nixon, White House called me and said the president wanted to see me. And I went to see the president, and if you remember, President Nixon had decided that in every capital in the United States, the White House would have a phone in with the governor, where he could talk to the governor anytime, the governor could reach the White House. Well, it wasn't but a few days before our governor here in Atlanta jerked his phone out of the wall, you understand. His name was Governor Maddox, if you remember. And then the president said, would you go down and see if you can find out? Well, I was just kind of a small guy coming down just trying to find out about the governor, you understand. And I only thought, well, as I sat there, I should tell you these 2 things. I've had the great honor to serve my nation in the war, 2 years in the Pacific. And as mentioned, I worked for 5 presidents, which has been great. But the most interesting thing about from here is, I said, when I first came here, and you got 3 governors, and I just came back from the war, you understand? How do we get down to 1 governor? But I love America. My whole life has been dedicated to peace and equal rights and opportunity in the workplace. I came home from the Navy and said we could not live with white supremacy, and I was no person of power. We had to come together. Our Constitution demanded that we do that, if you look at. So it's been an honor to serve my country, and there's been many, many wonderful moments. But Georgia is my home, Georgia is my love, and I'm proud to be here. And thank you for honoring me, allowing me to come here. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Representative Buckner to introduce the Doctor of the Day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the doctor of the day. Dr. Michael Haig is from the Columbus area. He is the emergency room doctor at St. Francis Hospital. He is a board certified by the American Board of Emergency Medicine. He has served as the emergency room doctor for the past 20 years. And he earned his medical degree from the College of Osteopathic Medicine and Surgery in Des Moines, Iowa, and conducted his emergency room residency at Fort Hood, Texas. And he is a true Columbus proud kayaker and is looking forward to whitewater rafting on the Chattahoochee in Columbus very soon. Would you like to? Thank you. Thank you for being here, Dr. Hager.
Well, thank you for all you do, and I'm so pleased that this legislative body is able to get so much accomplished. Things are going to start warming up soon. The weather's going to be warming up. You may be out on the river like me, and contrary to public belief, a little bit of salt on a hot day, if you're not acclimated to the heat, may make a big difference. The difference between you being able to enjoy a day out on the river and being a little weak with stomach cramps and nausea. So you don't want to have salt every day, but unless you're acclimated, a little jerky or a little salt in the palm of your hand, you may be able to enjoy the summer activities a little bit better. But if you need anything, I'll be down in the first aid booth. And once again, I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and anything I can do for you, just get a hold of Debbie here until you get a hold of me. Bye-bye.
I'll do it. Thank you.
What purpose does, Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Chairman Chanel, for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This announcement is for the members of the ad valorem subcommittee of the Ways and Means Committee. There will be an anteroom meeting right now to discuss Senate Bill 145. Ad valorem subcommittee of Ways and Means in the anteroom right now. Thank you.
Chair wants to recognize a former member of this body visiting with us today on the floor, former Representative Jimmy Benfield. Good to see you. Good to have you with us. Okay. It's 11:35. I think it's probably time to go to the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 76. Senate Bill 76.
Senate Bill 76 by Senator Jackson II, a bill being entitled 38 relating to veterans benefits, so as to create the Returning Veterans Task Force. This bill has been for the House Committee on Defense and Veterans Affairs. The committee recommends the bill do pass. This bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Hitchens to present the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and ladies and gentlemen. I come before you today on behalf of Senate Bill 76. This is another Veterans Appreciation Bill. Essentially what it does is in state government we've identified 7 agencies that deal with Veterans Affairs and Veterans Benefits. None of them work together in a consolidated effort to provide those services. What this bill will do is form a task force. There'll be no cost involved because the people are already in place. Each commissioner of the different agencies will appoint a member to a task force that will meet quarterly to look at Veterans Affairs and try and form a more unified effort to provide those services and have a one-stop shop so the veterans can go one place and get their services. In addition to that, each year they'll
He'll make recommendations to the Speaker, the Lieutenant Governor, and the Governor about how we can better improve our benefits to veterans, and both by rule and by legislative efforts. I'll take any questions.
You have no questions.
I yield the floor.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on Senate Bill 76? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 76 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 76. The ayes are 150. The nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 14. Senate Bill 14.
Senate Bill 14 by Senator Underman of the 45th, a bill entitled Amendment Title 31 relating to indigent elderly patients so as to create a Georgia Alzheimer's and related dementia state plan task force. Bill having been for the House Committee on Human Relations and Aging. The committee recommends that this bill do pass. The bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Benton to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I want to present to you Senate Bill 14. Senate Bill 14 deals with something that is going to either affect you or someone in your family or someone that you know real well in your lifetime, and that is Alzheimer's or other types of dementia. And what Senate Bill 14 is going to do is going to establish the Georgia Alzheimer and related dementia state plan task force. This task force will be composed of 6 officials, and they will include the Director of the Division of Aging Services, who will serve as chairperson, the Commissioner of Community Health or his designee, the State Health Officer or his or her designee, and the chairpersons of the House Committee on Health and Human Services, the Senate Health and Human Services Committee, and the House Committee on Human Relations and Aging. In addition, the task force is to invite other advisory members who have experience with Alzheimer's and other stakeholders to assist the committee. The bill gives the task force the power to hold public meetings and to request and receive data from the appropriate agencies and healthcare facilities to the greatest extent allowed by law. The task force is to issue a state plan, including proposed legislation, if any, to the Governor and the General Assembly by March 31st, 2014. On this date, the task force will stand abolished. In its place, the bill establishes the Georgia Alzheimer's and Related Dementia Advisory Council, which will be created upon the abolishment of the task force. The Advisory Council will include the same membership as the original task force and is to meet at least annually to review the progress of the state plan and make recommendations for change. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll answer any questions or yield the well.
You have no questions.
I'll yield the well. Thank you, sir.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 14 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 14. The ayes are 158, the nays are 3. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 97. Senate Bill 97.
Senate Bill 97 by Senator Wilkinson of the 50th, a bill to be entitled Act amend Title II relating to agricultural commodity commissions generally so as to create the Agricultural Commodity Commission for beef. The bill has been for the House Committee on Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. Committee recommends the bill to pass. Bill's read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Sam Watson to present the bill. Representative Watson. She can't go with you into the well.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I bring before you today Senate Bill 97, which creates an Agricultural Commodity Commission for beef. This is a producer-funded program that includes all beef producers and dairymen to help fund research, education, and promotion of beef. The commission would be made up of 3 beef farmers, 1 dairyman, and 1 individual involved in the marketing of livestock. Cattle owners would be assessed up to $1 per head sold, with the commission determining the final amount. Every 3 years it comes up for renewal and can be voted up or down by the producers themselves. There are currently over 12 of these commodity commissions in the state of Georgia that's administered by the Department of Agriculture. Georgia Cattlemen's Association, Georgia Farm Bureau, Georgia Livestock Marketing Association, your sale barns are all in favor of this plan. I myself am a cattle producer and I am in favor of this plan, and I would appreciate your favorable consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll yield for questions.
I don't think I would be in too big a hurry. Chair is reflecting that most of the people wanting further information appear to be from the southwest quadrant of the state.
I was afraid of that.
That's a poor reflection, you know, on your ability to explain a bill when you can't even talk your neighbors into understanding it. Do you yield for some questions?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, let's see here. How about Chair recognizes Representative Shaw to your right for a question. Now, you sit by him. You could have talked about this before you got up here.
Yeah, sorry.
Does my friend from Colquitt County yield for a friendly question?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, when I was studying my legislation last night, and came to your bill, and I started looking at the code section a little more. And when we're talking about cows, you know, we've got the beef part of the cow, and then we got the milk. But the dairy folks and the milk producers have had a commodity commission since 1961. And I just was wondering if you could tell me, why is it that it took the beef part of the cow so long to catch up with the milk?
Well, I don't know. What was the first thing you drank when you were born?
That's a good answer.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chair recognizes one of the leading proponents of the interest of rural Georgia, Chairman Reinders, to your right for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And does my friend from Southwest Georgia yield?
Yes, sir, I do.
You have a long and storied career dealing with heifers. Will any of the heifers that you've had experience, will heifers statewide be affected by this?
Yes, sir, they will.
Thank you so much for your vast experience on the subject matter.
Thank you.
Well, let's see. We need a little variety here. We need to make sure this doesn't affect the seafood industry in Georgia, so the chair recognizes Representative Atwood to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I will.
I've long had a deep love affair with our Constitution and the equality under the law and equal protection of the law. And I see the gentleman has a deep and abiding focus with the beef industry. But does the gentleman have something particularly against chickens. There seems to be no protection here for the avine industry.
Well, they're not involved in this bill.
And will the gentleman vote the year?
Yes, sir.
Why not?
You'd have to ask the Poultry Federation about that.
Thank you. Congratulations on your first.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Transportation Committee, Chairman Roberts, to your right for a question.
Don't I get an opportunity to yield the well sometime down?
No.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to.
Actually, this is a friendly question.
Yes.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is it not true that this bill has no state dollars
That's correct.
going toward it whatsoever?
That's correct.
One further question.
Yes, sir.
Could you give me the definition between a dairyman and a cattleman?
Well, a dairyman raises dairy cows for milk production, and a beef producer raises beef cows for beef production that we eat.
Okay, I'll accept that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Chair recognizes Representative Beverly to your right for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I do.
So there was a very popular saying in the 70s that black is beautiful, and there's been a run on Black Angus here lately. Could you explain that for me, please?
I think that saying is once you go black, you never go back. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to yield the well on that. Get out of here. Appreciate
The
it. Thank you.
gentleman has yielded the well. Leaving a multitude of questions in his wake. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 97 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 97. The ayes are 149, the nays are 14. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption of Senate Bill 87. Senate Bill 87.
Senate Bill 87 by Senator Ginn, the 47th. Bill to be entitled, Act entitled 2, relating to marketing, facilities, organizations, and programs, so as to repeal the roadside markets incentive program. Bill has been for the House Committee on Agriculture, Consumer Affairs. The committee recommends bill do pass. Bill is being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Kirby to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring you Senate Bill 87. This is one of the bills that we like. We are repealing code section. And what Senate Bill 87 does is repeal the entirety of Article 4 of Chapter 10 of Title 2 of the code section. What this did originally when passed in 1967 was basically set up a program dealing with roadside markets where the Department of Agriculture would
come up with some kind of rules or standards to put their stamp of approval on it and give them a sign that says they met those requirements. For the last 35 years, it's never been used. I couldn't even find anybody in the Department of Agriculture that could tell me if they ever produced a sign. So this is simply to repeal that code section for something that's never really been instituted since it was passed in 1967. And if there are no questions, I'll yield the well.
You have some questions. Do you yield?
Yes, sir. I will certainly entertain a few questions.
Chair recognizes the Majority Caucus Whip, Representative Lindsay, for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
I will certainly yield.
There's some confusion over here as to whether or not this is your first bill or not.
Yes, sir. This is my first bill.
Now, the other gentleman left. We seem to be delving heavily into agricultural products today. The other gentleman left the well before we could ask him whether or not his bill was just a lot of bull. So, so I just want to ask you the same question.
It is as valid as somebody who would put Davidson winning their brackets could possibly understand.
You know, in about 2 weeks, you're going to feel kind of foolish about that when I'm still wearing this hat and I'm still in that well. But like I said, the other one we're a little worried about the bull aspect. This one a little bit worried about whether or not it's just a bunch of rotten fruit.
Well, fortunately, we have the Georgia Food Act of 1956 as amendment, as well as the Wholesaler Fish Dealers Act and the Georgia Bottlers Act, that all are in play for these roadside markets to ensure the sanctity and quality of the food that's being sold.
Well, seeing how the good people of Buckhead both love good meat and good vegetables and fruit, I look forward to supporting your bill. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you have a rather distinguished inquisitor now. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House who has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, I will.
When you explained this bill, your first bill, you said it was to repeal something.
Yes, sir.
And I draw your attention to line 10 of your bill. It says that all laws and parts of laws in conflict with this are repealed. So have you just repealed the entire Code of Georgia?
Well, no, sir, we have not, because as we all know, there's no perfect legislation, and especially anything coming out of the Senate, we know is not going to be perfect. So we do have to clarify their wording from time to time.
Do you yield for further questions?
Yes, I'll yield for a few more.
Chair recognizes Chairman Sims to your left for a question.
Gentleman yield.
Yes, I will.
Now, this means that, how's this going to affect my mama if she wants to sell something on the side of the road?
It's not going to affect her at all. As a matter of fact, in the code section, the definition of roadside markets actually has to be on a federal or state highway and only dealing with transient commuters. So it's really about getting the Yankee dollars as they head to the beaches in Florida and won't affect your family whatsoever.
Well, gentleman, further yield.
Yes, I will.
You mean on the way to the beach, these people going to be trying to get some food? You know, my mama's selling something on the side of the road. She's not going to be able to do that anymore?
No, she can absolutely sell that on the side of the road.
Okay, so make sure.
Yes, sir.
Do you further yield? You don't have to.
I will yield for one more.
All right. Chair recognizes Representative Pizol to your right for a question.
That's one too many, isn't it?
Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, I will.
Is it not true that your ringtone is "Don't Stop Believing"?
That is true.
Will the gentleman further yield?
Yes, I will.
If that's true, could it now be said that you have stopped believing in roadside markets?
No, it's not, because I believe the roadside markets are fine without having the Department of Agriculture have to give them a stamp of approval.
Thank you.
With that, I will yield the well, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 87 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 87. The ayes are 165. The nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Blinded by the light. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Resolution 113.
Senate Resolution 113 by Senator Jackson, 24th, a resolution authorizing the granting of restrictive easements, non-exclusive easements for operation and maintenance of facilities and utilities over state property located in various counties. This resolution has been before the House Committee on State Properties. Committee recommends the resolution pass by way of a committee substitute. Resolution being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes the Chairman of the State Properties Committee, Chairman Neal, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And while the last few minutes have been fun, this is not my first bill, and there's nothing about it interesting or entertaining. I apologize for that. This is our annual easement bill. This is the bill that outlines the state property easements that are being given to utilities, etc. Everyone who is impacted, everyone whose district is impacted has been notified. It's went through the process as usual, and I would appreciate your favorable consideration. And Mr. Speaker, with that, I'll yield the well.
You have no questions. Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All those in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the adoption of Senate Resolution 113, the ayes are 166. The nays are 0. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore adopted. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 140. Senate Bill 140.
Senate Bill 140 by Senator Murphy, 27th. The bill being entitled Admin Code Section 3376 relating to property insurance, contract requirements, rules, regulations, exemptions, include contracts, agreements, and instruments for the repair of certain wear and tear motor vehicle to include rips, burns, tears, holes, and punctures to the interior fabric or carpet, cosmetic repair to aluminum painted wheels, exterior reconditioning and foggy yellow headlights with a definition of property insurance in a manner similar to vehicle service agreements or extended warranty agreements. This bill has been for the House Committee on Insurance. Committee recommends that this bill do pass. This bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes Chairman Maxwell to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this bill simply adds a little bit more to vehicle service agreements or extended warranties. In 2008,
The insurance department allowed us to go in and pass a bill putting some areas of coverage for the extended warranties, vehicle service agreements, and this is just adding on, as the clerk read, the repair of rips, burns, tears, holes, punctures, interiors, fabrics, cosmetic repairs, and limited to bumpers and aluminum wheels. And the insurance department says this is a good thing, and we'd like to have this passed today. I would appreciate your support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll yield the will.
You have no questions? Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 140 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 140. The ayes are 163, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 644. House Resolution 644.
House Resolution 644, Representative Willard, 51st, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Timber Security. The resolution has been before the House Committee on Judiciary. Resolution's recommendations do pass by the committee. It's being read today for the third time.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Chairman Willard, to present the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And yes, this is my first time in the well today. You have before you a resolution that is hopefully going to address a growing problem in Georgia. We have over 24 million acres of forest land, and a lot of this land is owned and growing trees by absentee owners because you have large tracts of land that someone maybe in another state or even another part of Georgia is using for the purpose of growing these trees. Is a great commodity for our state. It's a great commercial and economic engine to our state. The timber industry is, but we have a lot of people who are abusing timber in the sense of stealing timber, we'll call it, whether it be accidental or deliberate. And the industry needs to have this issue addressed, and they've asked for a committee to be set up. And the study committee, which will be appointed by our wonderful speaker of 5 members, and really look at this issue over the next year and come back and perhaps address to this House and the Senate some proposed legislation that might be a way to determine if our laws need to be strengthened and a greater deterrent to those who are either deliberate or otherwise taking timber from land that does not belong to them. So I encourage your support for this. It is a good protective measure, and I think it will help stem some of this growing problem within our state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask for your support.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All those in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the adoption of House Resolution 644. The ayes are 162, the nays are 2. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore adopted. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 170. Senate Bill 170.
Senate Bill 170 by Senator Hill, 32nd. A bill to be entitled, Amendment Title 16 related to forgery, fraudulent practices, so as to add medical identity fraud to the provisions relating to identity fraud. Bill having been for the House Committee on Judiciary and Non-Civil. Committee recommends the bill passed by committee substitute be read for the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Gravely to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, today I bring to you Senate Bill 170, which seeks to provide protection for health care and related information in that it authorizes the prosecution of the crime of medical identity fraud. It's just the fastest growing form of identity theft in the state of Georgia. This bill would also protect your health insurance, your benefits, and other health savings accounts, just like your credit information and your bank accounts are protected now in the code section. Additionally, this bill would also add protection of military medical information of our veterans. It's a good bill. I would ask for your favorable consideration so that we could address this in the code and outline what exactly medical identity fraud is. And Mr. Speaker, at this time I will yield should there be any questions.
You have questions?
Yes, sir. I figured there would be.
There are. There are.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll yield for questions at this time.
Chair recognizes Representative Taylor to your right for a question.
Wave. Okay.
He waves.
Thank you, Representative Taylor.
Do you yield for another question or
Yes,
for
sir.
a question?
Yes, sir, Mr.
Chair
Speaker.
recognizes Representative Teasley to your left for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, I yield.
Is this your first bill that you're presenting today?
Yes, sir, it is.
Very good. Do you further yield?
Yes, sir.
I know that you ran as a limited government conservative, somewhat skeptical of the effect of the effect government can have, and so I'm a little bit concerned on line 3. On line 4 it says, "and for other purposes." Is there something you're trying to sneak past us here in this bill when it says "for other purposes"?
No, sir. No, sir. The purpose is laid out in the bill.
I understand that, but then it says on line 4, "and for other purposes." And so I wanted you to clarify that for me, if you would.
Any other purposes? Thank you. That's a good question. Any other purposes related to identity theft, medical identity fraud? I would imagine that definition, and I would trust legal counsel that they knowingly put that in there to address the actual crime, the purpose of the crime, or purposes, as stated in line 4. Thank you for the question.
Does the gentleman further yield? You said something there that caught my concern. You said you would trust legal counsel. Do you have an over-reliance on the legal profession here? Is there another profession you've been involved in that you've learned to trust the legal profession unnecessarily so?
I wouldn't say unnecessarily so, but when it comes to the law, I have a very high regard. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, you just continue to whet their appetites.
Yes, sir,
Chair
Mr.
recognizes the Majority Caucus Whip, Representative Lindsay,
Yes,
to
sir.
your right for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir. To my whip.
Now, I noticed that you got a health bill through non-civil judiciary as your first bill, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the question is, were you a masochist in bringing your first bill before non-civil judiciary, or were you a coward for not allowing it to go through health?
Ask him if there's another option.
Is there an option C?
Or would you like to dial a friend?
I would like to dial a friend if there is one in the crowd.
No.
There's not one. I figured that as
Do
well.
you continue to yield?
I'll yield for one more question.
All right.
I'm a masochist,
Chair
I guess.
recognizes Representative Mabra for a question. To your right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, to my friend.
In this bill, you have medical identity fraud. Now, I have some medical records over at Georgia Tech from when I played football, and it stated that I have less than 4% body fat and a six-pack. I just want to make sure that no one could claim that there's another Ronnie Mabra out there with less than 4% body fat and a six-pack of abs. Is that?
If those records are indeed true, I would say that I would not. If this bill passes, you're exactly right. No one would be able to claim that there's another Ronnie Mabra out there with 4% body fat and a six-pack, as you have stated.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
You have more questions if you said one more, but it's up to you.
I'll yield just for one more question.
One more time. Is that where we are?
One more time, yes, sir, Mr.
Chair
Speaker.
recognizes Representative Gregory to your right for a question.
Yeah, fantastic. Should have yielded.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, to my friend, Mr. Gregory.
I was just wondering if you could remind me the nickname you suggested I refer to you by at the beginning of this year.
Oh, my goodness. I don't recall if that was in Athens or what. I don't recall that.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. I think I'm yielding the well at this time, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for your favorable consideration, and thank you.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 170 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 170, the ayes are 167, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Are there announcements that need to be made before we take a lunch break? Any announcements that need to be made before we break for lunch? If not, Chair recognizes Representative Kidd for an announcement. We didn't have his microphone, but Representative Kidd announced that the Independent Caucus is having a lunch in room 216 for all House members. Okay, we're going to be in recess to Chair recognizes Representative Frazier for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Georgia Working Family Legislative Caucus will meet in room 406 upon adjournment. Thank you.
That completes the pre-lunch announcements. We will be in recess until 1:45. 1:45.